Hello, I'm Liv at Yogacrohnie, and this is a heart opening flow. So we'll be flowing to our own breath and creating some space within the front of the body. So hoping to find some balance to our Anahata chakra, which sits at the very heart of our chest. So if you're a person that's quite closed with your emotions and you hold your emotions close to your chest, it may feel quite intense to find this space. So if at any point any of the postures feel a lot, then just ease out and come away. So you probably won't need any props for this practice, but if you want to start sat on a cushion or a blanket, then please do. And come down to your mat and we'll begin. So we're going to start seated in Sukhasana, so grounding down through your seat bones, and as I said before, you can sit on a cushion or a blanket if you want to lift your hips up a little bit. But just seeing if you can start to sit up tall, so stacking the spine, reaching the crown of the head to the sky. And from here you can soften down the eyes and start to just draw your attention from the outside world to the inside world. And you can take one hand to your heart center in the center of your chest and take the other hand on top. And just start to listen to your heartbeat. Start to listen to your breath and start to connect to your Anahata chakra. So as we start to find some balance into our Anahata chakra, we will hopefully start to feel some love and light and self-compassion. So as you start to breathe into this space, just see if you can envisage a soft green glow. So green is the colour of your Anahata chakra. Take a few more breaths in through your nose and out through the nose. So maybe you've had a crazy day, maybe you've got a crazy day ahead of you, but just see if you can start to quieten the mind and draw your attention in, listening to your body and breath, just being present in this practice. So as you settle here with your breath, you can gently flutter your eyes back open. And we're going to come straight over to tabletop. So you can either roll straight over the knees or you can straighten the legs out and roll them behind you. And we're going to come straight into some movement. So finding your tabletops, really lengthening through your spine. We'll take the weight into the left shin and start to push your right foot to the bottom of the mat. But seeing if you can keep your hips level to the mat. As you inhale, start to bend your right knee and send the right sole of the foot to the sky. So using your right glute muscle, squeeze the bum. As you inhale, lengthen through the whole spine, crown of the head reaches forwards. And as you exhale, draw that knee up towards your chest, rounding through the spine. Inhale to lift and lengthen, sole of the foot to the sky. And exhale, draw the knee up to the chest, round through the back. Inhale one last time, sole of the foot to the sky. And exhale, roll through each vertebrae to draw the knee up to the chest. This time as you inhale, send the foot up towards the sky and we'll take the weight into the right hand and see if you can lift your left hand behind you. So reaching for the top of the foot. So if you make the connection with the foot, start to push the foot into the hand to lift your chest. And if you don't reach the foot, don't worry, because if you're reaching back, you're still lifting and opening up through the heart space. Use your exhale to slowly release, taking that left hand and right knee back down. So back to your tabletop. We'll take it to the other side. So grounding down through the right shin this time. As you inhale, send the left foot to the bottom of the mat. As you inhale, bend that left knee and send the left sole of the foot to the sky. So keeping the hips level. So notice if you've opened that left hip, can you draw it back and down? Take an inhale to lengthen through the whole spine. Crown of the head is reaching forwards. And as you exhale, slowly roll through the spine. Draw the knee up to the chest. Inhale, sole of the foot up to the sky. So cat and cow variation here. Exhale to draw the knee up to the chest. Roll through each vertebrae. Last time, inhale, sole of the foot to the sky. And exhale, draw the knee to the chest. This time, as you inhale, send the left sole of the foot up behind you. And then we'll take the weight to the left hand, spread all 5 fingers and reach the right hand behind you. So again, maybe reaching for the foot, pushing into the right shin to keep you lifted. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, working into all these wobbles. Don't worry again if you didn't connect the foot to the hand. Keep lifting your chest. And as you exhale, slowly release. And take the hand and knee down. So we'll start to walk the hands back towards the knees here. So sitting on your heels. So take the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. As you inhale, start to draw the hands down the back. So lifting your heart, opening up through the chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. So this is a great stretch as well if you've been working all day at a desk. Opening up through the front of the body. As you exhale, release the hands and we'll interlace them behind the head this time. As you inhale, open your elbows out to the sides, lift your heart, lift your gaze. And as you exhale, slowly roll through the spine, tuck the chin down to the chest. Inhale to lift and open the heart. And exhale to round through the spine. Lovely, releasing the hands. We'll take them back down to your tabletop, so all fours, tucking the toes underneath. We'll push into the hands and the feet and start to lift the seat bones high for your downward facing dog. And here, just checking in with the hamstrings. If they're tight, then bend the knees. Don't worry too much about the heels coming down towards the ground. Just see if you can spread the weight evenly between your hands and your feet, reaching the seat bones up. Relaxing through the back of the head. As you inhale, bend the knees and start to walk the feet up towards your hands. So finding a forward fold at the top of your mat. And you can bend your knees here and really let the heart sink over the legs. If this feels good, stay here, or maybe interlace the hands behind the back again and draw the hands up overhead. So finding some space in the heart center, through the shoulder heads, relax through the back of the neck. And see if you can draw the heel of your hands together here, so the palms. As you exhale, slowly release the hands down. And we'll step the right foot back for a low lunge. So dropping the back right knee down and tucking those toes and just making sure that the front ankle is underneath the front knee. So the knee isn't overshooting the ankle. When you're ready, use your inhale to lift your fingertips up to the sky. So just noticing if you're opening your hips, you might start to sink down. Let's see if we can keep this active rather than passive. So drawing out and holding yourself here. Inhale to lift the hands up. Lift your gaze and start to open your heart towards the sky. So hands can be up to the sky, or maybe interlace the hands behind the head again, if that felt good. Squeeze your glute and lift from the waist. So trying not to crank down through the lower back, lifting up and over. As you exhale, release the hands and we'll take the right hand down inside the front left foot. As you inhale, lift the left fingertips up for your easy twist. So you can stay here on the back knee, or maybe tuck the back toes and lift the back knee off, if it feels okay. We'll take some circles with this top hand. So as you exhale, start to send the fingertips behind you. And as you inhale, sweep the fingertips forwards and up. Exhale back. Big circles. And inhale up. Last time, exhale back. And inhale up. Now plant that left hand down, framing the front foot, and we'll step it back to a high plank. So here, as you exhale, keep the knees lifted and lower through chaturanga, hugging the elbows in. Inhale for cobra, or maybe upward facing dog, thighs off the mat, lift your heart. And as you exhale, push the mats away, rolling over the knees and toes. Back to your downward facing dog. You can pedal the feet. You can sway the hips, or maybe finding stillness in your downward facing dog. This time, as you inhale, bend the knees, look to the hands, and either walk, step, or jump the feet to the hands, forward fold. So you can either take that option that we did before, taking the hands up behind the back, or we can add a twist. So if you're taking the twist, keep your feet hip width apart, take your left hand to the center, and as you inhale, start to draw your right hand up towards the sky. So both knees can be bent, or maybe you start to straighten the right leg and bend into the left knee. If you need more space, you can always come up onto the fingertips of the bottom hand. Twisting from the waist, exhale to take the right hand back down, forward fold. Taking the right hand to the center this time, and inhale to lift the left hand. Reaching your chest to the left, and you can bend deeply into the right knee and start to straighten through the left. Exhale, left hand down, bend into the knees, forward fold. So we'll take that left foot back for your low lunge, dropping the back left knee and tucking the toes. As you inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. And again, finding that point where you're holding yourself rather than sinking down into the hips. So lifting up out from the waist, lift the hands and lift the heart. So start to draw the hands up and over behind you. Maybe you keep them high, or you can interlace the hands, the fingers, and take the hands behind the head. Really lifting your heart, lift your gaze. As you exhale, slowly release the hands, take the left hand down, and inhale the right fingertips up to the sky. So easy twist. So you can stay on the back knee, you could explore and come onto the tiptoes and lift the knee. See what feels good. And from here, as you exhale, start to reach the right fingertips back. Inhale to sweep them along the floor, forwards. Exhale, the hand goes back. Maybe take the gaze with the hand. Inhale forwards. Last time, exhale back. Move with your breath. And inhale forwards. So we'll take this right hand down to frame the front foot. Step the front foot back to the back foot for your high plank. And this time we'll lower all the way down through chaturanga. So see if you can keep the knees lifted, lower, keep hugging the elbows in, all the way down to the belly. And from here we'll find Sphinx pose. So taking the elbows underneath the shoulders, plant the palms into the mat and just shine the heart space forwards. So through the shoulders, pushing the tops of the feet into the mat. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze the bum to protect the lower back. And you can stay here if it feels good, or maybe adding a twist. So you would take your left hand in front of your chest so that the left elbow scooches out to the left. As you inhale, push into the tops of the feet, squeeze the glutes, and see if you can reach your right hand back behind you. So the hand can be lifted or it can be on the back of the right thigh. And just notice if you've sunk into the left shoulder. See if you can lift up and out. So really use your inhale to lift the chest. And maybe bend that right knee and take the foot with the hand. So using the foot as leverage to lift the heart. Staying with your breath. As you exhale, slowly release and take one hand down and the other on top. And take your forehead to your hands. You can rock the forehead on the hands to release any tension, and you can rock your hips side to side just to massage the lower back. We'll take that to the other side. So coming back to your Sphinx, and you can stay here in your Sphinx if you did before, if it feels good, shining the chest forwards. Or maybe you start to take your right hand towards the center, right elbow slightly out. Push into the tops of the feet, squeeze the glutes. Think heart lifts, and as you inhale, lift the left hand behind you. So again, the hand can be lifted or maybe on the back thigh. Keep lifting out from that bottom right shoulder. And if you want to, you can bend the left knee and take the foot with the hand. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And then slowly, as you exhale, release. Coming down, one hand on top of the other again. Melt everything down to the mat. So just notice your heart rate. Notice that energy that you've built from that back bend. From here, take your hands underneath your shoulders. And we'll use the core, tuck the toes, and see if you can reverse your chaturanga. So as you inhale, push into the hands, lift up as one straight line, and then lift the hips to the sky for your downward facing dog. From here, we'll ground down through the left foot, and as you inhale, sweep the right leg up behind you for a three-legged dog. And we'll open the hip here, so bend the top right knee, squeeze the heel to the bum. See if you can keep your chest level to the mat as your hips open to the right. You can stay here, or maybe you have a play, taking the weight into the left hand, left foot. Gently start to step your right foot behind you for Wild Thing. So lifting your hips, lifting your heart to the sky. Right hand reaches forwards. Staying with your breath. As you inhale, start to take the weight back into that left hand and left foot. Rolling back over, keep the right leg lifted if you can for your three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend the right knee and draw it up to the chest, seeing if you can plant the right foot between the hands. So coming up for high lunge, we'll stay on the back toes. Inhale to reach the fingertips up. So strong through the legs here, squeeze your inner thighs together, pushing through the back heel. If you want to have a play with your balance, you could take your hands to your hips or keep them up overhead and maybe use your inhale to see if you can lift your front heel off the mat. So coming onto all your tiptoes, take a breath here. As you exhale, lower that front heel down. As you inhale, start to bend the elbows and draw your shoulder blades together, lifting your heart. And as you exhale, start to round through the back, send the elbows towards each other, chin to chest. Inhale to open, lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale to round through the back. One more round. Inhale to lift and open, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And exhale to round. Great. Plant the hands either side of that front foot and step it back to your high plank. As you exhale, lower through chaturanga, seeing if you can keep the knees lifted, hug the elbows in. Inhale for cobra or maybe upward facing dog. And exhale to roll over the knees and toes back to your downward facing dog. So take a breath here before we take it to the other side. So grounding down through the right foot this time. As you inhale, start to lift the left leg up behind you for your three-legged dog. And opening the hips to the left this time, bend your knee. Let the left foot hang behind you, squeezing it towards the bum. And again, you can stay here, or maybe starting to take the weight into the right hand, right foot. Gently step the left foot behind you. Keep your hips lifted as you start to reach the heart and hips to the sky. Reaching the left fingertips overhead, pushing through the right foot. As you exhale, start to take the weight back into the right hand, right foot, and see if you can flip it back over to your three-legged dog, left leg lifted. As you exhale, draw the left knee up to the chest and see if you can plant the foot between the hands. So again, adjusting for your high lunge, staying on the ball of the back foot. As you inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky. So strong through that back heel, bending into the front knee, and maybe having a play with your balance, seeing if you can lift your front heel off. You can always step the feet a little bit wider to help with the stance. Exhale that front heel down, and as you inhale, bend the elbows, lift the heart, lifting out from your waist. Exhale to round. Bringing elbows towards each other, chin to chest. Inhale to lift and open. And exhale to close. Working with the wobbles one last time. Inhale to lift and open. And exhale to round. Plant the hands either side of that front foot and step it back to your high plank. As you exhale, lower through chaturanga, hug the elbows in one straight line. Inhale to lift the heart for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to roll it back over to your downward facing dog. Take a breath here, come back to your center. Just checking in with the heart, your heartbeat and your breath. So we'll drop the knees down from here and come to a puppy pose. So Anahatasana, melting the heart down. So keeping your hips directly over your knees, you can come to your forearms. And then as you exhale, start to melt the heart down between the shoulders. So maybe the forehead comes down. You could stay here with the palms planted, or maybe start to take the palms together in your Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, and slowly start to reach the hands up overhead. So drawing your thumbs towards the back of your neck. And again, seeing if you can keep this posture active, so drawing your core, your belly button back towards your spine. So trying not to dump the weight down. Just finding space in the front of the body. Slowly draw those prayer hands back down to the mat. And we'll lift the head and start to slide forwards back down to our belly again. So from here we'll work with locust. So you can take everything down to the mat, and we'll use the interlacing of the hands behind the back again. So take your hands and interlace the fingers, resting the hands on your lower back. And you can take your forehead down to the mat. So really push the feet into the mat here. And as you inhale, squeeze your glutes, start to lift the head, lift the heart, and start to draw your hands away from you. Seeing if you can lift them off your lower back. As you inhale, see if you can lift a little bit higher, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe staying here for one more breath, or on your next inhale, see if you can lift your feet as well. So pushing the pelvis into the mat, push through the balls of your feet, finding length through the whole front of the body, taking flight in your locust. As you exhale, slowly release everything down to the mat. You can take one hand on top of the other, forehead down. And you can sway the hips side to side if it feels good, softening through the lower back. From here, plant the hands under the shoulders and we'll slowly push back through the knees. And we'll come to sit on our heels again. So 2 variations here. If you work with full camel in your practice and you want to come into camel, then please do. As this is a bit of a shorter practice, maybe take half camel. So for half camel, you would sit on your heels and take your right hand behind you. As you inhale, start to lift the left arm up. So finding space through the chest. You could stay here, or on your next inhale, maybe see if you can start to lift your hips and push your pelvis towards the front of the room. Lifting your heart, take one more breath. And as you exhale, slowly melt the seat bones back down. Swinging it forwards. We'll plant the left hand behind us, and as you inhale, reach the right hand up. And again, if this feels good, then stay here. Or maybe on your next inhale, start to lift the hips and reach the pelvis forwards as you lift your heart to the sky. Squeeze the glute muscles. And as you exhale, slowly draw the seat bones back to the heels, and we'll slide the hands forwards for a child's pose. So just to counter that, finding length through the back of the body, melt your heart down, melt your forehead. So take a breath here. You can always wrap your hands around to your heels if it feels better for the shoulders. And then slowly take your hands in front of you and we'll push up to a tabletop. Slowly sending the seat bones to one side. So coming down to a seat. And from here, you can send your feet out in front of you. Plant the feet onto the mat. And take your hands behind you. So fingertips facing you. Push the heel of the hand down. And start to see if you can lift your chest, so finding some space. And again, if this feels good, stay here. Or if you want to come up to reverse tabletop, use the inhale to lift the hips up towards the sky. And try not to let your head fall back, so look towards your knees. So just keeping some strength in the neck. Inhale to lift the hips a little bit higher. And as you exhale, slowly draw it back down to come to a seat. So from here, we'll come all the way down to our back. So lower down any way you can. And when you come down, plant the feet and just windscreen wipe the knees left to right. So just to ease off through the lower back. And we'll finish with a bridge pose. So if you wanted to make this more restorative, you could grab a yoga brick and pop it underneath your sacrum. So you can just let the weight fall onto the prop. If you wanted to make it more active, then we'll take traditional bridge. So taking the feet hip width apart, planting them on the mat, And then planting your palms either side of your hips. Just see if you can let your lower back connect to the mat here. So flattening your spine to the mat. Take a breath here. And then when you're ready, as you inhale, start to push into the feet. Lift your hips towards the sky, rolling up through each vertebrae. And squeeze your inner thighs together so that your knees are drawing inwards rather than tracking out. Tail is long, so with every inhale, see if you can lift the pelvis a little bit higher. Chin tucks to the center of the chest. And if you wanted to, you could slide one shoulder blade and then the other underneath the back and reach for your fingertips, the fingers to interlace, underneath the body. Take another big inhale, see if you can lift the hips a little bit higher, breathing into the chest and the belly, creating all that space through your heart center. And when you're ready to come out, you can slowly release the hands if they're interlaced, plant the palms and use them as brakes to slowly roll down through each vertebrae. Take your time. Hips are the last thing to come down. And when they come all the way down, you can hug one knee and then the other up to the chest. You can rock side to side, up and down the spine, whatever feels good for you. Maybe you reach the soles of the feet to the sky and take the hands to the feet for a happy baby. Rock up and down, side to side. Release any tension here that may have built up through the lower back or through the hips. And when you're ready, when you've taken any last wiggles, come down for your Savasana, for your relaxation. And you can either keep the feet grounded as a nice way to relax through the lower back. Or if you wanted something more open, you could take the soles of the feet together and let the knees roll out. Or you could take traditional Savasana, stretching one leg and then the other, down to the bottom of the mat. And take the hands by your sides. Palms face up so that the shoulders can really relax down. And as you start to let go and melt into the mat, close down the eyes and draw your attention back to your heart. So listening to your heartbeat, listening to your breath. And if your mind starts to wander off, which it probably will, then just see if you can notice that it's gone somewhere and gently draw it back to your heart space. And just see if you can envisage that soft green glow right in the center of your chest. That soft green glow, your Anahata chakra, your truth. If you want to stay in your Shavasana any longer, then please do. Stay as long as you need to allow your body to rest. And if you want to come out of your Shavasana, then gently draw yourself back to your breath. Gently draw yourself back to your body. So maybe wiggling your fingers and toes or rolling the wrists one way and then the other. Rolling the ankles or rocking the head side to side. So take your time to draw yourself back, and when you're ready you can hug your knees up to your chest and roll over to one side, gently pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Taking your time and keeping the eyes closed or the gaze heavy. Finding that connection of the seat bones into the earth, sitting up tall. And we'll bring our awareness back to our heart center one last time, taking one hand and then the other hand on top at your heart center. Just drawing yourself back to that green glow. And remembering that your heart center is your truth. And if you ever feel like you've lost your way or aren't sure of your path, then just know that you can always turn back to your truth, your center. And we'll take the hands together in Anjali Mudra. And I invite you to finish this practice by bowing forwards with gratitude for your practice and gratitude for yourself. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope that you feel a little bit more balanced within your center.